Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Salutations, much love and respect to you, Akim, out there pushing this word out in truth and sincerity. Now, this lesson is going to be entitled, Not Sparing the Flock. You know, this is something that was on my mind earlier, but I forgot it. And through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, I got it back, you know. So basically going into individuals that leave the truth, you know, specifically, you know, or teach false doctrines. Not even just leave the truth, just teach false doctrines ultimately. Anyone teaching false doctrine. It could be these other camps, ISUPK, IUIC, whatever the case may be, or these different alphabet camps. They have certain men in there, certain leaders that know they're going off in the spirit. They know that the Great Millstone, starting with the apostles and elders on down, have the men of the Lord and teach the right doctrine. But their mindset is, if I'm not going to make it, you know, you might as well, I might as well bring down these other men with me. You know, there's certain people that think like that. There's certain people that are genuinely deceived and believe the Most High is dealing with them. You know, but there's certain men that know that they're going off. They know it, you know, so they just decide, they decide to live in the delusion. They decide to believe the delusion. And you know what? The demons help these people to believe that delusion. They help them to be the deceived. Okay, just like in the time of Ahab, right? You had the council in the heavens with the Most High and the angels on the right hand side and the angels on the left hand side. Okay, and a particular demon popped up on the left hand side and said, I'll be a lying spirit in the mouth of Ahab's prophets to convince him to go up to the battle so that he can be put to death. All right, to convince him he will win. All right, which were lies. Micah was telling him the truth, but the Heavenly Father set up those demons to tell him lies. Okay, and guess what? Those demons were working together. You know, those demons were working together, man. You see, right? Like that guy who one of the dudes who thinks he's King David, bug outs in Jamaica. All right, he basically, you know, he was walking past a dude or talking to a guy, and then when the guy left, he said, "Peace, King." Right? So to him, that was confirmation of what he already believes, that he's King David. That was a demon that jumped on that guy to call him a king. And he kind of bowed or whatever. That was a demon. So the demons will help to keep these people deluded, you know. But the point of the matter is, a lot of these people deep down, they know they're going off. And their mindset is like, nah, I'm trying to heap followers. It's all about heaping followers unto themselves, man. You know? And those followers that follow them, where are they going to end up? They're going to end up being destroyed as well. So therefore, they're not sparing the flock. They have no pity for the flock. They don't give a damn what happens to these individuals, as long as they get followers and are praised. You see what I'm saying? So these are real evil men. You know, these are real evil men. Okay. Which a true man of the Lord, if you know that you're going off, right? You would, first of all, you would consider it. You know, you would consider the brotherhood and consider, you know, what's happening in the spirit and say, damn, what am I doing wrong? The first thing, anytime a brother brings something to you, what I always say to brothers too is like, the first thing when a brother brings something to you, you got to think, the first thought before you even analyze, I do this, that. What am I doing wrong? First, you access that. You think about that, you internalize that, and then you start to use logic and say, wait a minute, okay, well, such and such, such and such. But you got to first examine yourself and see, are you going off? And why is the Lord having this happen to you? What are you doing wrong? The same thing when you get chastised by Yahweh Shemi Shai. We're not getting chastised for no reason. Are you without sin? No, when you get chastised, the Lord reserves the right to chastise us, to chastise man on earth. He even reserved the right to chastise Yahweh Shai, going back to the time when he was King Solomon. He said that if he goes off, that he will beat him with the stripes of men, and King Solomon went way off. But as Yahweh Shai, he was perfect. He didn't go off at all. He didn't sin at all. But the Lord still reserved the right to have him put to death in such a brutal manner, right? Which was for his sins, but also for the nation of Israel's sins. You know what I'm saying? So these individuals, you know, that's coming up and they don't think they did anything wrong and this and that, they're being deceived. They're being deceived, and a lot of them is just they're full of pride, okay, and they can't accept the fact that they were going off. You know, so what they're gonna do is they're gonna drag as many souls, as many simple-minded souls, is they're just looking to hear something new and exciting. As that one individual said, you GMS guys, you make the truth boring, because that's what Jake has, those itching ears. They want to hear something exciting. They want to hear something new. You know, the truth is repetitive. It's repetitive. It's boring to a lot of individuals. You know, it's not. It doesn't move fast enough. It doesn't give them that dopamine hit that they're looking for, man. So when someone says, "Yo, we got new names," or someone says, "Yo," you know what I'm saying? You could have a Israelite fashion show, or you know what I'm saying? We're going to the shooting range. We got to tap into Esau's blessing. That makes that gets these Jakes excited, because they have itching ears. Itching ears meaning what? They have something that, you know, they crave to hear something new. They crave to hear particular things. Some dudes crave to hear particular things that fit their lifestyle, but certain dudes crave to just hear something new, to hear something exciting. You know, so they hear some bugged out names that sound like it, you know, bugged out things. Oh, yo, that gave me chills, man. You got my attention. Why does he got your attention? Because he has that individual has a low attention span. Okay. And the point, the fact of the matter is, most likely he's not of the elect. All right. Shalom to the brother Pillars of Benjamin. Okay. You see what I'm saying? To the rest of you Akim and Akwath on the watching. All right. But the point is that individual has a low attention span. He's not focused on the truth. The scriptures speak about being focused, meaning what? Having your eyes single. Because if your eye is single, then guess what? Your body will be full of light. But if your eye is not single, all right, your eye, meaning your eye is evil, meaning you're not focused on the truth, the true doctrine, then guess what? Your body is full of darkness. And how great is that darkness? Because it's a deep, deep hole. When you look into these doctrines, it's like a rabbit hole that never ends, and is deep. It is deep in darkness. Okay? Just like when you look at these gods, these false gods, you know? I was thinking of doing a lesson on these false gods, but I'm like, yo, it's, you know, forget about these false gods, because these false gods is nothing but confusion. It's nothing but confusion. Look up Isis. First she was symbolized as this, then she was symbolized as a bull, then she was this and that, then she was the goddess of this, and then she became the goddess of fertility, and then she became the goddess of fertility and the goddess of stars, and it's constantly changing, it's constantly evolving, it's constantly going deeper into darkness, man. And we can't take them out of that darkness, because Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai hath blinded them, man. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai doesn't want them, man. That's why they're being deceived, and they're being pushed away by every wind of doctrines. The scriptures say not to be. Don't be carried away by every wind of doctrine. Everything you hear is, oh, yo, that sounds right. No, you got to be assured of the doctrine and whom you've learned the doctrine from, that they're the men of the Lord. And if you're not assured that they're the men of the Lord who you're learning the doctrine from, then you're just really not, you don't have faith. Number one, you don't have faith, and you're not stable. You're not rooted. You're not rooted. Okay? You see? When they found Yahushua, they were certain that this was the Messiah. Peter was certain. It didn't matter. Yahushua said things that sounded bugged out to the disciples at times. Like when he spoke about eat my flesh and drink my blood, that sounded like cannibalism. That's why a bunch of those disciples left at that time, and they were not of the elect. But Peter and them, they stayed, even though they didn't understand, because they understood and they believed that he was the Son of the Most High. So you have to understand and believe who are the men of the Lord. And then you continue in the doctrine. That's how it works. But if you're not convinced, if you're not fully persuaded that these are the men of the Lord, then you're really not fully persuaded in the truth. Because the truth came from one person. I mean, not one person. The truth came from the men of the Lord. Okay? I'll say that. One group of individual, which are the men of the Lord, which are the elect. That's what I mean. Not one particular individual. One group of individuals, which are the elect. The body. See? Paul didn't just do what he wanted to do. He went and consulted the body because he understood that Peter was also, Peter and the disciples and the apostles at that time were also men of the Lord. So he didn't just veer away and do what he wanted to do. He consulted with them because he knew that they were the men of the Lord. He knew that the Most High, through his son Yahushua, was dealing with them. Does that mean every single thing they said at every single time was always 100% right? No. They had to grow. Hey, listen, bro, that's why Paul said he withstood Peter to the face, because he did something that wasn't right at one particular time, but he didn't step out. I didn't say he slapped him in the face. You know what I'm saying? It just meant he pressed him on a particular issue, and because of because he was being a hypocrite when it came to the Gentiles. The Israelite foreigners coming into the truth, man. You understand? But as the scriptures say, great men are not always wise, but you don't step out of your boundaries, man. You don't step out of your boundaries, man. You don't step. Well, that's what Job's friends did. They stepped out of their boundaries. Job was speaking certain things, and they were chastising Job. They said a lot of wise words. That's why we have the book of Job today. They said a lot of wise words, a lot of spiritual words. Those were men of the Lord, but they were going off because they were adding affliction to a great man of the Lord. Things they were speaking were not in season. As the scriptures say, great men are not always wise. But nonetheless, the doctrine is pure. Nonetheless, the doctrine is pure. There's no guile found in their mouth. All right, the brother, Pillis of Benjamin posted Wisdom of Solomon 4:4. For though they flourish in branches, okay, for a time, right, yet standing not last, they shall. Matter of fact, I'll read that when I pause up. I'll read that when I pause up, because it's kind of dangerous doing that. You brothers read that on the comment board. You know what I'm saying? Because they come in the truth. They stay for a while, and then they wither away. Those are the seeds that were, planted in different places. Stony ground, mostly stony. Well, a lot of the guys, these particular two guys, are in stony grounds. The recent flavor of the month, they're in stony ground. They were planted in stony ground because they were offended. They withstood for a while, but when that heat came, they were offended, and they just completely went left. Okay, so what the brother put was the Solomon 4:4. It says, for though they flourish in branches for a time, yet standing not last, they shall be shaken with the wind, which is what? These different afflictions, these persecutions, they get offended. And through the force of winds, they shall be rooted out. Okay, beautiful. Rooted, this is Colossians 2 and verse 7, says, rooted and built up in him, and established in the faith as ye have been taught, abounding therein with thanksgiving. You have to be rooted, and part of being rooted is believing and knowing and trusting in whom you learn the doctrine from. That they are, in other words, you're trusting Yahweh Shem Yahushai by trusting in these men, because you believe that Yahweh Shem Yahushai sent these men. You have to believe that Yahweh Shem Yahushai sent the men, the apostles back, the leaders of the church back. If not, that's confusion. You know what I'm saying? Oh, this is an apostle, but he believes in this doctrine, and the other apostle believes in that doctrine, and the other apostle believes in that doctrine, and he's in that group, and he's in that group. That's confusion. That's confusion, man. Notice these other camps, they all have different doctrines. So the apostles wouldn't be all gathered up into these different camps because they all have different doctrines. They would be in one particular place. Right? And these different people that rise up and start to go left, you know what I'm saying? That was their lot, to go left, you know, to forsake the truth, you know, to forsake the truth, to forsake the ministry, you know, to do their own will after their own heart, okay? And to carry souls that were not meet for repentance along with them, you know? So there's nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. And these guys, and they really have no mercy for the flock. Their mindset is misery loves company, man. They want to bring them down with them. And you can see that there's spirits on these guys. And when they get cut, they just ignore it. Whatever. When they get cut, whatever. They just ignore it. That's the demon in them, man. They just ignore it. Matter of fact, they get more inflamed. They get more angry. Because they're getting cut, because the light is shining. And what does the light do? The light is exposing their ass. The light is exposing them, you know. So with that, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect, man. All right, let me read these last scriptures the brother put. The brother's on fire. It says Romans 14:5. It says, one man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be fully persuaded in his own mind. Right. And you have to be fully persuaded. Start, you know, with the words you're hearing, but then you got to be persuaded that these are the men of the Lord. You know, you got to be persuaded of both. Okay. You got to be persuaded of both. It says, can two walk together except they be agreed? Right. So they're not going to be, you're not going to have the apostle Peter, he's in this camp, and the apostle John is in this camp, and the apostle Paul, he's in another camp teaching a whole nother doctrine, but they're all supposed to come together. The scriptures say, let there be no divisions among you. Okay. That's what the Lord said. He said, that's what the scriptures say. Let there be no divisions among you. All right. We're not supposed to have divisions. We're not supposed to be, we're supposed to agree in the doctrine. We might not agree on what's the best taste, pizza, you know. We might not agree on what's the, you know, what's the best, you know, best type of woman from which country or whatever. The best flavor of ice cream. But we should be agreeing on the doctrine. If the men of the Lord will agree on the doctrine, that is for sure. They will be one as Yahushua was one with Yahweh. And Yahushua, who did he chill with? He chilled with the men that were with him from old. His family, that's why he said, this is my family. Because guess what? The men of the Lord at one time, we were all family. We were all together. We were all family members, man. You know? See, certain brothers kind of look similar in certain ways. They look different, but they have like certain similarities. They were probably brothers in the ancient world, man. You know? Certain brothers connect with certain brothers differently. You know, and then they connect with other brothers. That's probably because they were, you know, maybe that was a father and son relationship in the ancient world, man. Just like Yahushua and Peter, that was literally a father-son relationship when Peter was King David and Solomon was when Yahushua was Solomon, man, King Solomon. You see what I'm saying? It says, now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahushua Hamashiach. Yeah, not a Barlamos or whatever the hell he said, man. Okay, Yahushua Hamashiach, that ye all speak the same thing. And that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined. You have to be perfectly joined together, man. Okay? So that's how you know that they're going to be within the same group. Okay? Together in the same mind and in the same judgment. And you don't have to be called GMS to be of the group. Okay, you have to push the doctrine, which makes you of the group. Which makes you of the group, you know? And those brothers that are truly in the spirit and truly a part of us, really, if they wanted to be part of the group, they could be a part of the group. They could put GMS on their name, those brothers that the spirit is on them. Why? Because they're really a part of us. GMS is just a name, but it's a name to identify a doctrine, though. Because you can't call yourself GMS and you're teaching that you can have long hair, or you're teaching that, you know, the writings of Paul is not right, or Paul was not a man of the Lord. You can't be a part of Great Millstone with that. Or that there's other heavenly names, and there's the seventh heaven names, and all manner of bug out doctrines. We're going to tell you, what are we going to tell you? We're going to tell you to take the name off, take the GMS off of your name. You're going to be exposed. Brothers are going to make videos. This man is not a part of Great Millstone. And brothers are to unsubscribe from him. Because we are to be perfectly joined together, man, in this doctrine. We're not supposed to be partial. We're not supposed to be, you know, making up, you know, trying to sound super deep. You know, just making up things. No, we're supposed to be perfectly joined together. You know, through the guidance of the leadership of the apostles and elders on down. All right. So, with that, Lord willing, this was edifying to the elect. The water for the brother for posting those scriptures on the comment board. Appreciate it. With that, I'll say Shalom and Kohalayim Leyal Bashim Yashai Kwam Yasharala. All right. The elect of Yasharala.